Welcome back, Cobra Crazies. Thank you for supporting my channel. Please subscribe, tick the like button. This episode, I'm going to show you the process of taking the gearbox out. So, play the clip. Right, so I'm about to remove the prop shaft, which is connected to the gearbox. You can see it goes into the gearbox right there. And this is the diff, right, and the differential then has drive shafts which are connected to the wheels there. So basically all I have to do now is undo those these nuts here, these nuts there. That's the bolts, and there are 4 of them. I've got to undo those, and then this will just drop because this part here is the differential. This differential was actually taken from a Jaguar XJ40 1990, and these differentials can take bhp up to about 900 brake horsepower. They're very robust. Anyone who converts cars and races drag cars, the Jaguar differential is a favorite. This particular one is better than the XJ6 in that you've got the discs outboard that's really near where the wheel is, whereas the XJ6, the discs are actually situated about here. They're inboard and they're very difficult to get to apparently. I've never worked on them, so I don't have a lot to say about that, but I just think that the XJ40 idea is far better. So I'm going to get on with that now. Yeah, and there we are. So the prop shaft is off now, and there we have the diff where it's connected up to. So my next job now is to undo these bolts here, this bolt and the bolt there as well, and this whole thing should be able to drop. And then my next task will be to take out the bolts which hold the bell housing to the engine. I've now undone the bolts which hold the bracket for the gearbox. And although I said I could remove the prop shaft, at this point I can't. I can pull it off, but I'll have to put a bowl under here. Because we have a bar there, the prop shaft cannot drop down with the gearbox. So the prop shaft has to come off first. I've got to pull it off and place a bowl under here because oil will drip out from the gearbox. So all I have to do now is pull these bolts off, support the gearbox using one of the trolley jacks, and then the final bit, the final bit then, it's to undo the bolts. See one of those bolts, the bolts which are holding the bell housing to the engine. So I've got to undo all those bolts. So I think there's about 3 of them, and they are American size. I think they're 5/16. So you can see there, that's the bell housing in the silver, and the engine in the red. And these are the bolts that hold the bell housing. They hold the bell housing to the engine, so I'm just going to take these off. And I'll just put this down here for now, and then I'll put it in the bowl, and then I believe I've got 2 more, and these other 2 are holding the bracket. So there's these 2 bolts there. They also hold the bracket for the slave cylinder. So loosen that one off, and I think I might have to go under the car to get the other one off. I've now disconnected the slave cylinder. So we've got the prop shaft disconnected from the gearbox. This prop shaft was actually much longer than you see it here, obviously because this is a Cobra and it's shorter. It's actually been shortened. This prop shaft came from a Jaguar XJ40. From the end to the front, it's up to here is Jaguar. This yoke here, this bit here, from here to there, that comes from the obviously it's going to a Toyota gearbox. So this yoke here is from the Toyota gearbox. So when you are building a Cobra or any kit car, there is a lot of work to do. This prop shaft has been refurbished. It was actually shortened and done by a professional, and the joints are all brand new. That's very important as well. So you can see there where I've taken out the bolts and the brackets that are holding the gearbox itself, and I've used the trolley jack to support it. Now if I lower the trolley jack, that whole thing should go down, and you can see even where the engine is changing its angle as well now. And that's as far as it can go. Okay. Yep. No, that's fine. Gear knob has got Allen keys on both sides. I've done the other side, and that should just slide out now. Let me do this one a bit more. There we go. So that's the gear knob. out of the way. I need to unscrew this now. I always notice when I unscrew anything, I go from one bolt or one nut, and then what you do, you go to the opposite one, because what you don't want to do is to take out one and you find that whatever it is you're taking off then bends to one side. So that's the reason why we do it this way. And I absolutely hate having to do this, because the trim was actually done just before I went to Le Mans this year, and to have to do all this is really getting to me now. I didn't want to have to disturb this for many years to come, or just many months, not only a few weeks. So what's this now? So this bearing problem is really change everything. Okay, I think that should just pop out now. Okay, there we are. Okay, so now the gearbox with the gear stick can actually go down freely. I'm not sure whether I'll have to take the gear stick off. I don't think so. Should be able just to drop it. It should clear this, but it's not a very long gear stick. Sometimes you've got to take the gear stick off, because if it's too long, it won't go down past the big hole. Okay, let's try it again. Yeah, so it's day 2 of the process, trying to get the gearbox out of this Cobra. When I have a problem with anything like this, I always walk away from it, come back the next day, my mind is fresh, and I've got a few more ideas of getting this gearbox out of this car without having to ruin that lovely trim in the car. So let's have a look what's underneath. Okay. The process of getting the gearbox out of the engine took quite a long time, and I must have been under there for more than an hour. This is the problem of not having a high hoist to actually lift the car up. It needs to be much higher than what you see here. It really is a very strenuous exercise, but in the end I triumphed, because I stayed on it and I didn't give up. I had to wiggle. As I said, everything is trial and error. And just at the point where I removed the gearbox from the engine, because I didn't have the prop shaft at the end of the gearbox, the oil came out and it spilled all over the floor, on me as well. And then you can hear the gasp as the oil spilled and spoiled my lovely new garage floor. But in the end, I won. And there we are. One gearbox out of the Cobra. Right, so gearbox finally out of the car after 6 hours. And you can see here, this is the problem. the thrust bearing. You can see it's very loose here. It's a bit worn. This is about the third time I've had to deal with this problem. Well, that's all for now. I'll see you in the next clip. Thank you for watching. In the meantime, stay safe, stay crazy.